Hello friends. Today's vlog is going to be a little different than what it normally is, just because we had so many doctor's appointments today that I felt it was best just to sit down, explain, you okay?
Yeah.
Explain what the doctor said, what the next step is, what is going on with Savannah. So our first appointment was with OT, or occupational therapy, and with her, she kind of just evaluated Savannah, gave her some things that she could work on different ways to write, that it wouldn't hurt, to try and help her upper body pain, as far as her upper back, her neck, her extremities, and things like that. Then we saw rheumatology. Rheumatology was very happy with Savannah. She was very happy with her, where her pain is at. She evaluated her whole body. She was very happy with just on a rheumatology standpoint and joint standpoint, how she was, where she was at. And so if you see me keep looking behind me, it's because Savannah's behind me, right there. So she's getting ready to go swimming. So she was very happy with, as far as Savannah's joints and as far as her pain, and that EDS standpoint, she was very happy with how she was and how she has done. So Savannah does not have to go back and see rheumatology for 6 to 12 months unless something else is going on. If she's having more pain out of nowhere, or different pain, or any of those kind of issues, then we go back to see her to see if we can better manage her pain that comes with the EDS. The third person we saw today was PT, which is physical therapy, and she went over some new exercises Savannah could do. She went over some of the exercises and stretches that she does in cheerleading, that were either that was either a modification for her, or there was some exercises that she didn't agree with. She said were not good for her joints, or for anybody's joints, whether you have Ehlers Danlos Syndrome or not. So she just kind of gave us those modifications. She also put new inserts in Savannah's shoes to try and help with her ankles bowing in, which helps with her ankles bowing in, which then also helps with her hips and her knees and all that. And so OT, or occupational therapy, and physical therapy want to see her back when we come back for GI, because we will be here sooner than 6 months as far as GI goes. So those are the three we saw this morning. And then we saw GI. Savannah's biggest issue as far as the Ehlers Danlos Syndrome is GI. And so obviously we had to see him because she has an NG feeding tube. But we were discussing today everything, how her constipation's doing, the feeding tube, what kind of next steps. So first we discussed the feeding tube, the NG tube. And after great discussion and things, we had decided we were going to give weaning her NG tube a try. If her weight drops or we're not successful, then we will have to have a G tube placed, which is a more long-term permanent feeding tube. It is surgery, and it's in her stomach. But he agreed to let us try weaning her first before jumping straight to surgery. With that, she will be on homebound so that I am able to watch her closely, so that if she is not feeling well or her health starts to deteriorate or go down because of the lack of nutrition, then I can take her in and say, no, this isn't going to work. We need to schedule this surgery. The second thing we discussed was her constipation. We just got out of the hospital a couple of days ago. Actually, yesterday. We just got out of the hospital yesterday for hospital clean out. And so there was a couple of things. We talked about her constipation next. And with that, we talked about her regimen, what we do at home, and trying to come up with a plan to prevent the hospital cleanouts. That if we have to do those, we can do them at home. So what was decided with that was as far as the medication that we use, there's not really any change in that. But he wants us to kind of start doing pick a time in the day for her to go to the bathroom, whether she needs to go or not, and sit, and hopefully train her body to be able to go to the bathroom. The other thing we discussed was there's a test that he would like her to have. And this test will be able to show them whether her colon, if there's parts in her colon that are not working. So that we know that, okay, well, this medication regimen, it's not working. Well, this is why. Because there's a location or a spot in her colon that's not working. And so that way we know better with what we're dealing with to be able to treat her. The other thing we talked about was gastroparesis. They have decided, or they have noticed, that there is a form of gastroparesis with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome patients. The problem is because it's not the exact form that all doctors are very familiar with, the testing is still something they're trying to figure out to be able to say, yes, this is what's going on. With Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, they are still learning. There's tons and tons of research going on, which the hospital and the doctors that we visit here in Ohio is the top research center for this EDS. And so we know that that is going on, and that is what's hindering her from being able to eat adequate nutrition. Right now, she eats anywhere from 700 to 1,200 calories a day. And that is not enough to sustain her, and so she's having to do the 2 feeds on top of it. But we're hoping that with her body, so we're hoping that now that she's gotten this nutrition and her stomach has stretched a little bit, that maybe we'll be able to work on getting her to eat more. But it's kind of like I told her, if we can't, we can't. If we have to come back and we have to do the surgery, we know we gave it a try. And we know that it's not just her saying, oh, I don't want to eat, that there is medical reasons to why she's not eating. And so I told her, I don't want this weaning process to be so stressful and just out there and not doable because of all the stress of everybody else. If she ends up not being able to eat enough, she ends up not being able to eat enough, and that's okay. Because we know that there's medical reason going on for the reason why. He did say, though, in the last 7 months, she has gained 22 pounds, and she has grown in height. And so he said that her body knows what to do with the nutrition. That's not the issue. When she takes in the nutrition, her body knows what to do with it. It's just getting the adequate nutrition in her. So we're going to go back home, work on weaning her, putting her on homebound for this process so I can keep a very close eye on her, increasing any therapies that need to be increased once we get home, and go from there. So that is just kind of the gist of everything that went on today. We are heading back home tomorrow, and I'm so excited, and I know she is too, to see her brother and sister and dad. And so
I am super, super excited
to be home. Yes. So I'm going to take her swimming before she drives me too insane. And we will see y'all later. You gonna say bye?
Bye, peeps.
I can't see your face.
Bye.
Why are you tilted up?
I don't know. Bye.
Crazy. Alright. Bye, guys.